Hey everybody, it's Andrea Trout with Prime IV Hydration and Wellness. We're located in Delray Beach, and now we have new locations in West Boca, Wellington, Weston, down in Broward County, and then some that are not mine in Palm Beach Gardens, Fort Lauderdale, and Fort Lauderdale by the Sea. So you have a lot of options. In Delray, West Boca, or Wellington, come see us and mention the word sweet and get any IV for $149. And especially now with the holiday season coming, keep your immune system strong and be ready for those sparkling holiday parties. We hope to see you soon. Hello, everybody. This is Andrea with Sweet and Spicy, and I'm here with Carolina,
AKA Spicy.
Spicy Spice. And actually, we're so excited for this.
Because we're here with this real spicy spice.
We're here with the real. Our friend Anne. What's up, Anne?
Hello, hello.
We're so excited to have you. We've been talking about this for a long time because we're going to talk about Lez-B-Honest.
Yes.
Lez-B-Honest.
Lez-B-Honest. Because you happen to be a lesbian.
I am. And I hang out with all these straight girls.
And the nicest one I've ever met.
Really?
Yes, I love
It's like you know so many?
I don't know that. I mean, I've known some throughout my life, but I've never been as close to, like, I've never had the opportunity to be, like, very good friends with them, like I have with you and Cindy.
No, it's fun. We definitely shed light on different things, I'm sure.
Oh,
yes, for sure. No kidding.
We actually got into the night that you did not come at when we went to, what was the name of that place? The grand opening?
Oh, yeah, I don't remember. It's
the bungalow.
Bungalow.
Oh, the bungalow, yeah.
You were supposed to come. So
Yeah.
I was sitting next to Cindy and I couldn't help it. The conversation started. And so I started with all my questions, and it was an interesting conversation. I was like, this episode's going to be awesome. So
I
can't wait. I'm
part
so
of most
excited.
of that because I was at the other end of the table.
yeah,
So.
Cindy was holding out on some stories that she wanted to tell. She's like, no, I'm going to wait for the
That's good.
podcast.
I
but-
cannot.
There's so
wait
many.
to. Yeah, right. You have them too.
I have so many stories.
I'm sure.
I grew up in South Florida, so.
Because we talked about it a little bit somewhere. We were somewhere, and you're telling us a little bit about your story. Go ahead.
I think my first question, which I think it's kind of a controversial question, and I still don't know the answer to it, is whether or not you're born with it or not. Is that a bad question to ask?
No?
Like, it's so interesting to me because I have always thought, because a lot of my friends growing up in high school and college were very guy crazy, and then they got drunk and made out with a girl or experimented, and all of a sudden they were bi or they were gay. So I always thought it was through experiencing. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well,
Or could it be both?
I think it's both, but I think that only because I know like a few families that have all the siblings or like multiple sisters and brothers are gay. So that's kind of unique. And then I also think it's environmental. You know, if you grew up in an area that it's okay and it's no big deal, then I think that people will lean towards maybe experimenting. And things have changed now too.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, things have really changed. And I think people try it a lot when hormones are raging. Kids, they touch their best friend, they're doing things. I mean, and now that it's okay, I mean, I think that we'll see a huge swing with being fluid is the new word.
Yeah.
Doing
Right,
anything.
right.
But I think back when we were growing up, or I should say myself, it was taboo. It
Right.
wasn't okay. It was frowned upon. You got beaten. So parents weren't okay with it. So I think a lot of people that probably were gay or thought about it or fantasized about it didn't say anything.
Right.
And now that it's okay, when I was 17, I would always be with, straight girls because they would meet me, not know I was gay, and then they would be like, oh my God, how fun. So
you would tell them.
well, I wouldn't tell
And
them, but
then
they would just
be interested
no,
or curious.
No, I think that we just became friends, or so we started working together, or you meet people and you just become friendly, and then they're like, oh, do you have a boyfriend? And it's kind of like, no, I'm gay. And then they're like, you are?
Right.
And they have 1,000 questions.
Yeah. And back
hate
then, it was rare to find somebody
It
out
was.
that was saying it.
Right. I was fortunate enough. My mother, was definitely okay with it. My father was not, but he was absent, so it didn't matter. So I think I was lucky, and I grew up down here, so it was okay.
Yeah.
So was your mom like, I already knew? Or was she like, oh, what?
Yeah, she said she already knew.
Really?
Yeah. She said she
Wow.
already knew.
And do you
And
know
I
what
ran
gave it
into her at a
away?
gay bar. What?
Oh my gosh, you did?
Yeah, there was a bar in South Florida that was, on certain nights, there was a bingo, and it was a great bingo place. It was drag queens. It was just a great
Oh my
bar.
gosh.
So downstairs, it was a discotheque, and then upstairs was a bingo and events and stuff like that. So she went upstairs with her gay boyfriends that were hairdressers. Go figure.
Was this the 80s?
This was, probably late 80s.
Late 80s?
Yeah, Well, 86, so I was 17, so
Okay.
86.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So there were so many bars down here. And so I was downstairs dancing, and my mom was coming down the stairs, and I was getting ready to go up, and I ran into her. And I was like, she's like, Mahita, what are you doing? And I was like, and I was like, wow, what are you doing? So
She's like, playing bingo.
yeah, exactly, playing bingo. And then I was just like, oh my God.
She's like, what are you doing?
yeah, and I was
I'm
like,
trying to find somebody to play
I'm
bingo.
dancing with girls.
Yeah, I'm dancing.
Trying to kiss a girl.
Well, I was still kind of like, I was still confused. I think I didn't really know. I mean, I did know, but I didn't know. So
Yeah.
at that point, I hadn't slept with anybody. So I was still like, figuring it out.
Right. And so what changes have you seen? How is it different for you back then to now? Like what are the
With
changes
me or
you've
with
seen? Both.
Well, with me, I mean, I've always been open about it, so it's no big deal. But now I'm definitely, I'm wiser and older, right?
Sure.
So, but there's no more bars. Like, it's very hard now to meet women. I think in general it's hard to meet anybody, but especially women now. Before Wilton Manors had tons of bars, Miami had tons of bars, and now they're all men's bars. So now to
Really?
meet women, it's difficult. There's no, unless you join softball or do something like that, which I don't do.
Right. So
Is that a stereotype?
It is.
It is a
I was like,
stereotype,
that's awesome. Go to a car show.
Yeah,
Go with Cindy to a car show.
go to a softball game.
So I'm going to a softball game.
Yeah.
Or WNBA.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Not all, but, I think women's sports in general, they just think they're lesbian.
So are like, because I know that, the joke is like for gay men, like Grindr is just, because doesn't it just literally show you who's close by on Grindr?
I have no idea. But
Do you know?
Yeah. But I think there's...
I think so.
Almost positive, because it's like the big one for gay men, and it just shows you who's close by, and it's just kind of like, oh, who can you go find? So is there something like that for
I
lesbians?
have no
or
idea. I don't do
different?
any of that.
You don't do any.
No.
So you've never done the
I
online.
know I have, but they're crazy.
She subscribes to your camp, which I'm coming to.
I did
It's
it.
not
Like,
just women. It's not just that.
Well,
no,
women in
you mean
general-
straight people.
straight people.
I think
are
people in
just as
general
crazy.
just have,
right.
like, they're not transparent, right? I mean,
Exactly.
that's what it is. It's like, there's no honesty, and like, it's just, they're crazy.
Who's
It's like,
who's a comedian from Saturday Night Live that was on a talk show, and she's like, I think we should just take all the ones left on dating
my
apps
God,
and
and
throw
call
them in
it
the pool
What's
and call
Left.
it what's left.
That was hysterical. That
Leslie.
was on the.
Her name's Leslie. She
Leslie
was
out. Yeah, that's what I
Drew
thought
Barrymore,
it was.
right?
I think
Leslie.
so.
She was going to call them the leftovers.
Yeah,
No, what's left?
What's left?
Something. Yeah, it's so funny. So you could have that for lesbians.
yeah, I
too.
mean, I've been on Match Me. Match has,
sure.
girls, and I think Bumblebee or
Bumblebee.
Yeah, Bumble, what is it?
Bumble. You clearly haven't been on
I
them.
haven't been on it, yeah, clearly. And I did it openly. Like, I was like, oh, let me try this out. And then, like, 2 months, I, got tons of dates. And I went on a lot of dates, and they were not single. They were women looking for a menage with their husband.
Wow.
It was endless. And, like, I was just like, I can't do this. This is like, I would
Wow.
rather not, I don't want to spend my time doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a big life, though. So that's a little different. I have a big life.
Which
So
is
a lot
great.
of, yeah. So if I lived in a small town in Iowa or Kansas, I may think differently.
Right.
Right? I mean,
But you're certainly not going on a nap if it's not accepted there.
no. Listen, go
You're
to
like-
Atlantic Avenue.
Right.
I mean, really, it's like,
So has it affected you in your career at all?
No. And I'm in the banking business. So, and I worked for Bank of America when it was a good old boys club. I mean, I was the only woman.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So I was lucky enough that it didn't affect me, and probably maybe because I was so confident
Yeah.
and I was a big producer.
So important. We were just talking about that on a
Yeah.
completely unrelated subject before you got here about that women just don't believe in themselves. So when you have a woman that does, like, the men just accept it because
Yeah.
they're used to that. But when we don't, they're like, oh, if you don't believe in yourself, why should I believe in you? So it's a really important point.
And so to your point, I mean, I was a high producer, so
Yeah.
that adds value to that. And then
Confidence.
but I'm very confident. So, and I didn't really, I didn't really care as a North Carolina bank. I didn't allow the disrespect, and I wasn't really too scared to like call him out. So, I think that really, I mean, it helped that I was a producer.
Yes,
and I had a little bit
right.
of clout to be like, this jackass.
Yeah, you can't do it if you're not producing. And as a man or a woman, really, usually, sometimes men get away with it.
And I was professional. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
still, even though he's disrespectful, I still try to be respectful.
Yeah.
But a lot of men, listen, men are men.
Right.
Yeah.
Gay or straight, I get the biggest thing when I'm gay and they're like, oh, you just haven't had, the right one. It's like, really? I don't even like a guy. It's like, I don't even like men. So why? I mean,
I know we've talked about this, but you have not.
I have not.
You have not been with any men ever in your entire life.
No.
And I
don't like a
not
strap on
interested
either.
in any in trying.
No.
Okay.
And you said you don't like to strap on.
I'll strap it on, but I'm not going to.
That was something that was brought up when I was talking to Cindy. Was what I didn't get is there's lesbians who put the strap on. So I think to myself, I don't understand if you like that, how are you a lesbian? Because you like the penetration.
Some straight women don't love penetration.
Right.
Some women don't like having them going down on. I mean, like, it's just, everybody's different.
I think it's more the chemistry with the person, right? Like,
and I also think the sensation too. Like, some women like it. I mean, they like that feeling inside of them. So I think it's more a sexual thing, not more of an organ thing.
Right.
Yeah. So
like sensation.
Because some women love small penises, some like big, some like up the ass, and so, I mean, just everybody's different.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's not that.
But do you think it's a lot mental also?
I think it's very emotional.
Right?
I think, yeah.
I mean, I think sex in general is mental. Like, a lot of it stems from the mind.
For some.
Yeah. I mean, there has to be obviously the physical, but
some people just like sex.
Right.
Yeah.
It's true, but you can close your eyes and like pretend you're doing somebody else. Like, that's mental. Like,
no, but I meant more of a mental connection. Like emotional connection with somebody.
I think that's what happens with
like women's. I think sometimes women do have they're maybe they don't know they're gay or bi yet.
I don't think, what happens with me, with straight women that I've slept with. Some are just had a fantasy and they want to try it out. Right. So they're like, oh, I just want to try it out. And then some are, they become friends. And then like over a course of time, they have a different view of it and they kind of they have a different view of it. Right. And I think they can then be like, oh, I can understand it now. Yeah. In my opinion. Right. I've had a lot of straight girls and it's very emotional. They like the camaraderie. They like their best friend, right? Yeah. It's like, that's what happens typically. But then what happens is they have the intimacy, they like it, and then it fucks their head up.
Right.
And they're like, I can't do this. Society. Or they get in, and they don't.
Right. But it's so socially acceptable now, I think.
People don't even care. I have straight friends that kiss girls just because they want to.
Yeah, I don't think.
And it doesn't mean anything. Like, they're not gay, they're not bi, they're not anything. They just want to.
Have you ever kissed a girl?
Yes.
Yeah, I've kissed a girl.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's an interesting comment. That's really?
Mm-hmm.
I've
kissed a couple
20s.
girls.
You've kissed a couple girls?
Yeah, because one of my really good friends from law school is a gay man. So, where do you go? You go to gay bars. So we were in Manchester one time, and in my 20s, and we were so fucked up. And I don't know.
Do you remember it or no?
Oh, totally remember it.
Okay.
Absolutely remember it. She was...
And I think there's good kisses. It's the same thing. It's the same thing with everybody, though. There's good kisses and bad kisses. I've
that's a deal breaker
many girls that are no good.
I mean, I don't remember that. I remember being weirded out by it because I was drunk, and whatever. But she liked me so much. And is this may be on PC? So I'm going to ask you this. I'm going to say this. But she was like a very bull dyke. Is that on PC?
No, it's
no.
No,
okay.
But there is that. I don't.
Is that the same as Butch?
Yes. Okay. She was very butch, but like bull dyke, but she loved me, right? And I was not even as girly as I am now. And she was like, wanted to take me back. And I'm like, no, we're not going there.
I'm sure she did.
Yeah.
She's a bull dyke.
Oh my
She
gosh.
was. But like,
So
that
you
was
see a
like
lot
the
of that.
most like way down that path I did. And literally it was infused by alcohol. And then the other one, I kissed one of my best friends at like midnight one time. But like, that was whatever. We were a little drunk too. But that was like, we just had a little kiss and it was it. But that's where I'm saying like the lesbian was at the gay bar. So. But
Yeah.
What about you?
I was in my early 20s and we were drunk and it was on a dare.
Mm.
Like,
Did
I
you
dare
like
guys
it?
to- I did nothing for me.
Yeah, like this song. I
interesting.
kissed a girl and
But-
I liked it.
Yeah. But it's interesting though.
The
It is.
girl was not attractive,
Mm.
like at all.
No, you can't do that. I wouldn't even.
I know,
do it for
even
me.
Hands like, no.
I wouldn't even do it.
That's funny.
Yeah, but it was, alcohol. And
Right. Exactly.
There's, you're
But
not-
are you as a straight girl? Are you guys curious though to like just see what it feels like, or is that not? Because I'm not curious about a guy. Like I can care less.
I
So
think
I'm just curious. Like,
I've gone through those stages, but if I envision myself,
you can't envision it.
I'm like, I
Grossed
don't
out.
think I could do it.
I was grossed out when that's what
can't.
happened to me.
Yeah, it's not anything like there's nothing there for me. Like you said, it just does nothing for you. Like I just have no interest. Kind of like you with a man. Like
Yeah, like I mean, yeah, you have
whereas
to.
I'm like, bring me a hot cowboy roar, like
Well, you like their body, you like the smell. you
Yeah,
like-
right?
Right. See,
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's a big difference, right? There's
Yeah.
some girls that are just they like that. They
Yeah.
like they're straight. They're like Pam.
yeah.
But that's
She likes
the
it.
thing too. Like I can look at a woman and be like, oh my God, she has got the best body, or she is
But that's
gorgeous.
different.
And
Isn't it the
there's
same thing with a man?
Nothing.
I can appreciate a good-looking guy.
Right.
Appreciate a good-looking anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
But I don't go there. Like, but this, and we're older and wiser now. I mean,
It's true.
We're not looking at you like, oh,
So are
I did before, but not now.
what are the differences? Because you have a lot of friends that are straight women,
and a
and
lot of straight.
Or that were straight women.
and a lot
they
of
definitely have kissed me. And I've definitely enjoyed them.
and you have friends that are gay. Are there differences in
Huge.
how we act?
Yes,
And,
huge.
okay, I want to know.
Oh yeah, this is good.
I want to
I mean,
know.
there's a huge difference between gay girls and well, you know what it is. Straight women are softer. That hands down.
Oh,
They're
interesting.
just a softer. Women have a bounce to them. The gay women they have a bounce and a toughness to them. So it's just a softness and a gentleness that straight women have.
And is that true even of like a lipstick lesbian?
No, I mean, but you still can see. You can.
Do you know?
Yeah. Because I
On
have
a lipstick.
Most
Yeah, yeah.
all my friends are lipstick lesbians. I'm probably the sportiest lesbian of them all.
And you can tell
Yeah.
without them telling you?
Yeah.
I could see that.
But even a lipstick lesbian, like what's the sign? What are the signs?
You just have a sense.
Looks.
It's kind of like a guy liking you. Like when you go into a room and you like, you have a talk to a guy and you just have a sense like, oh, they like me.
Really?
So it's just you have a sense of like, oh, wow. I mean, I can go into a room and be like, oh, interesting.
Right.
But sometimes I get shocked. Either I thought they were gay because they're butch. They're like, look at a guy. And I'm like, oh my God.
And they're married
And they're
to a
married
man.
to a man. And you're like,
Are you sure?
you're like, is he gay? I'm
Are
like,
you sure?
Yeah. So
I've
so-
met some of those.
Yeah,
Oh,
flannel,
yeah.
flannel shirts.
Shocking.
I mean, you're like, you're just confused.
Like zero, like girliness, femininity, which is fine. I don't think you don't have to be a feminine to be straight, but just like even in how they are in the world, you're
Even
like,
some boys are more feminine than me. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
That's true.
I know a couple of women
More
who
feminine
are
than me.
married, who have been married forever, who their husbands are. It's just so obvious. They are so flamboyant, and people are like, "Do you not see that?"
But can I tell you, a lot of those guys, because my friend's a massage therapist, a lot of those guys get their needs met by other men.
Mm-hmm.
I have a friend that's a massage therapist at a private.
I didn't even
club.
think about that.
Oh yeah,
That's probably true.
he's a massage therapist at a.
But the woman doesn't see it. Like, do you not see?
I don't think they see it, but they're married to. But they figure I'm married to them. If they have kids,
Yeah.
right. So
but I also think too that a lot of times you don't see what you don't want to see. Like, because, it's hard to see that because it means disrupting your entire life.
well, not only that, but he's telling you, I'm not. And
Right.
I
Well, a
mean,
little
and you don't-
gaslighting.
that true.
And he may not have admitted it to himself either.
I have a guy who's been caught, a friend that's mine that's been married, has 4 kids. They're now since divorced, and he's right, we're best friends, and I'm like, you're gay, dude. He's like, no, I'm not. Sure enough, he would get caught with guys, right?
Yeah.
His children. He still to this day denies it.
Yeah.
Really?
It's
Like you don't see
Makes me a
you
little
don't see what
sad.
you see.
Yeah. Makes me sad because that's something going on in the
We'll follow the
psyche.
pasture.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Religious family, it's not okay.
Hold up. We have a lesbian alert. Lesbian alert. Someone
Cindy
just
has
walked
entered
in the
the
door.
building.
Hold on.
Finally, our other guest is here, Miss Cindy. Come in, Cindy.
Talk about
She's gonna join us.
dyke and feminine and straight. Here comes sporty, the extra sporty.
All right. Somehow try to
So wait,
in there.
are lesbians usually late?
Yeah, well, this one is. Cindy is
It's
notoriously
straight
late.
or lesbian. You can be late as a person.
I was hoping you were later.
I was not late. I was actually on time.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, everyone.
Are we
We
still
have a
recording?
camera over there too, so you can say hello.
Well, ours is here.
Hello.
Oh, okay, yours is
Hello.
over there. Okay.
Are we good, Janine? Hold on. You want us to scoot in? Do we need to scoot in?
Should we ask
Listen,
what you were doing?
ladies.
I'm sure she was drinking and eating, probably having Mexican food. I'm sure.
I've got no comment.
Exactly.
What kind of
Except for I'm
taco were you having?
I'm starving.
That was funny.
A vegetarian.
Okay. So we have a new lesbian on
fish.
set. New lesbian. Wait, hold on. I think, if I'm not mistaken, hold on.
Am I
Oh
early?
God.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna punch her. Oh my God. It's so bad.
Janine warned us too.
I did.
And are we
I
recording?
thought it was 4:30.
We are recording.
Okay, great.
We are recording. So here we go. This is for Cindy being on time and being late at the same time.
My approval rating just went up.
I like it.
Followed by wah wah.
I always
Awesome.
wanted to be Madonna.
Yeah, I bet. So you've missed quite a conversation here already, but I want to get, because you said something to me when I was telling her about our conversation, that it got started kind of early at the bungalow.
Oh, yeah.
And you were like, I have to save some stuff for the episode. And one thing you said to me, you're like, I have to tell you, I think you said, I have to tell you the story about my sister.
Oh God.
Oh, geez, this sounds
This is
great.
good.
So we have to start with that.
All right, so I'm a young lesbian. I'm out at the bars all the time. And in Houston, 610 Loop, Richmond Avenue, just inside the 610 Loop, is Kindred Spirits. Big lesbian bar, hung out there all the time.
Okay.
So my sister decides, well, she's going to come and join us.
Younger or older?
She's older by about 2 years,
Okay.
right?
And she's straight.
She's straight,
Okay.
strictly dickly.
Okay.
I have not heard that. That's awesome.
But, in fact, she actually says that the reason her husband wanted to marry her is he was so excited about having a sister-in-law that was a lesbian. So, it all falls in line, right?
That is
This
a big
before-
man's fantasy, just so you know.
Yeah,
two
right,
women.
really.
It's-
Oh,
yeah, we hear it
absolutely.
all the time.
But before she got married, I think it was around maybe Thanksgiving. So she's in town. I'm already at the bar, of course, probably for hours. I'm
You're how old at this point?
19,
Okay.
right? Just a couple years ago.
Right. Uh-huh.
So so I'm in there. She comes in and she's got on a dress, and she's got this long, probably back then a rabbit or some kind of long, real feminine, real just dressy. And she comes walking in, and all the lesbians were like, "Hey, how you doing?" Right, right. So my sister, she's like, "Wow, it's kind of crazy in here. I just feel like all eyes are on me." I said,
They
well,
were.
They were. Yeah,
I said,
right.
You're welcome. Now, today's compliment is free of charge, right? So we spend maybe an hour or two at the lesbian bar. And she goes, well, we've had fun with your people. Let's go pop across the freeway. And just outside the 610 Loop was a big, huge complex, like maybe 4 bars inside, straight bar, right?
Okay.
Okay.
So we go across the street. We're walking in. Nancy's walking in front of me. I'm walking behind. We haven't even got to the place. Like, you walk in the door and like 10 feet in, there's the place where you show your ID.
Right.
And this guy comes up, grabs me, throws me down, and sticks his tongue in my mouth.
Oh my
Like
goodness.
the biggest
What?
in-depth kiss. I mean, he just came out of nowhere. So, of course, I had to push him off.
Right. You're like, ew.
It's like,
So
ugh.
Did any part of you enjoy that?
None.
None.
Right.
Right? For
It's
many
like-
reasons. First of all, it's scratchy, right? Then a male. And then, I think I'd like to be
that
the dominant.
Scratchy first is the worst thing than the
Scratchy.
male. So women with mustaches need not.
Absolutely.
Facial
And
hair.
if you got one, let's kind of plug it, shave it, I don't care what you need to do.
Sandblast
You
it
got to
off.
do something with it, right?
Damn menopause.
So, I pushed my way through the clearing of his scratchy, and I was shocked, and I said, my people may have looked at you, but your people just about threw me down already at the front door. So I don't want to hear about anybody coming to my bar, okay?
Oh my gosh.
So fast forward, I'm 2 hours into the night, probably drinking, and
Probably.
allegedly.
Most definitely.
Allegedly. And there's a couple guys around us, and there's people meeting and mingling. And this guy goes, "Hey, why don't we get up and we'll leave here? We'll drive to the beach." And I said,
Hell fucking no.
"No." I said, "Sure, let's go." My sister had to pull me aside, and she goes, "No. Your lesbian friends," because that's what we would do after the hours. We would go find a pool to go skinny dipping in. We would go to somebody's house. We'd go to the beach.
I never had those lesbians.
You should hang out with Cindy more
you
often.
should. Yeah, hang out with
Where
me.
our clothes were, at the party we were at, our clothes were already off.
We couldn't go outside. But yeah, she had to tell me, she goes, "Remember that guy that you met coming in? That's his younger brother. So you really can't just go off gallivanting with these guys that you
my
pick up
God.
at the bar." I'm like, "But I thought, I told him I was gay." He goes, "Yeah, he heard you."
Oh my
Like they think they
God.
can
They don't
change
care.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
change it or
they-
whatever, and I really thought we were just going out and have fun. But yeah, that's the story. My
Wow,
sister
honey.
gets a
You're
little
still that
looky,
naive,
and
huh?
I got bent
But
over.
your sister's still straight.
Yes.
Okay. I thought you were going somewhere else. Like she walked into somewhere and all of a sudden she came out gay. She walked in straight, came out gay or something.
It's like a car wash or something. It's like, don't drink the water.
Washy.
Washy,
Looby.
So one of the things I was just asking her is
Hers, Anne, for our listeners that don't have.
Ann.
We're on camera.
Is that you both have a lot of gay friends and a lot of straight friends, and do you see a difference in the straight friends versus the gay friends? And she said yes.
Well, then we have some wishy-washies, right? We got some on the teeter-totter. That's what Cindy and I, my friend, we were talking about. It's like we have strictly dickly, we have strictly non-dickly, and then we have those that kind of sway in the middle. So you want the two extremes.
Right.
Well, and you want
Like
they
she was
our
saying,
friends,
like, the
there's a
straights are
difference between lesbians
softer.
and straight girls. Straight girls are softer, more gentler. Guys,
Like when you hang out with us, is it a different
Yeah.
dynamic than when you hang out with?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
I'm ready to stop now.
Security. Where's Roy?
Are you
No, I'm
starting to get a little
kidding.
creepy? I'm like, okay.
like a typical guy where she's not dressing you.
Oh yeah.
I'm breaking a sweat over here.
That was awesome.
But I would probably say straight girls are easier to kind of hang out with sometimes because,
Really?
Yeah.
because we're just hanging out,
There's
right?
not, yeah.
There's no pressure.
There's no pressure in any way.
a
You
good
liking
point.
me, you liking my girlfriend. It's almost as like straight girls when you go double dating, right?
Right.
You're worried about probably one person, the other girl going after your man, as opposed to
The whole bar.
the three of them, right?
Right.
If it's four people
And
out,
they
I'm
will.
worried about
Right.
those.
Wow,
Not
yeah.
all. I mean, we're not. Simmer down over there. What are you trying to make this a top 10 video? I guess it's like, let's get down and dirty, baby. Let's burn it up.
So okay, so that leads me to a question. So did you both watch the L Word?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I figured.
I think every lesbian has.
Yeah.
I kind of figured, but you never know. You have
And we
to
kind
ask.
of laugh
Wait,
because we're
what
like,
is that?
It's a show about lesbians.
Friends.
Older show on like Showtime.
Yeah.
Or was it
Reality show?
Showtime?
Yeah.
No, it was
it's
a
not a reality
scripted show.
No, it could have been. So
I know, but that's what I was saying. How true was it?
It was before the reality. Very true.
Do you know who's in it? One of the leads in it is the
Jennifer
chick from
Beals.
Jennifer Beals from Flashdance.
Yeah.
Hot as fuck
Hot as
woman.
fuck.
Like,
She's
and
so
I'm
fucking hot as
straight.
fuck.
She's so freaking beautiful.
She's so
She
hot.
is.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yes.
God. She's a lesbian?
Well,
No,
she
she's in
plays
the
a
show.
lesbian in the
She's
show.
on TV.
Actor.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But
So-
she's in
Probably
she's in
not.
a
Like a-
monogamous long-term relationship with, then they have their friend who's just a whore.
Yeah.
Right?
Of course.
Was that Shane?
Shane, right?
yeah.
Shane's been with everybody, and she's been with everybody's girlfriend. She's been with everybody. Yeah.
What was that
And there's-
really hot lesbian movie with Gina Gershon and Jennifer Tilly? It was so hot.
I don't remember
The
that.
sex scene. Was it Gia? I forget. No,
Gia?
no. I don't know, but it's
there's
really
a-
hot.
These walls could talk. There's so many.
Walls Would Talk was a good show. That was like 3 different mini series or little mini stories.
Well, the biggest thing now I was going to tell you the really quick was with being gay. Now, you kind of really don't know because everybody has kids now. There's so many gay families that have kids, and there's straight girls. So everyone assumes when I say have kids, they always think of a man,
Yeah.
which is interesting.
And that you had,
Yeah, that is
and even if they know you're gay, like that you had your kids with the man and then
Yes,
are with
they
the
always
woman.
think, were you married?
that
Yeah,
about
yeah.
Anne.
Yeah.
Right.
I was like, oh, she was married before
Right.
to a man.
Yeah.
And then she was like, no,
No.
there's no man ever involved.
Yeah, and there's so many. There's so many.
There's 10% involvement from a man. Let's give
well, just a sperm.
Well, yeah.
Well,
That's what she
some
means.
involvement,
Yeah.
right? That's 10%.
So do
I
you
had the
guys
same
have the same taste in women?
No. Well, you just well, no, go ahead.
She was like, instantly, no. What do you say, Cindy?
Go ahead.
What's the difference? What do you go for, Cindy?
Well, there's a spectrum there.
Dark-haired, beautiful Latinas.
So
That's what I like.
that seems to be the current one. So I would probably say I kind of like both, but I've probably been with more blondes than brunettes. Really? Yeah.
But do you like really feminine girls?
Feminine or soft butch. I don't want to date a man.
Right.
Right.
Me either.
It's like, oh, your husband. That's not a husband. Let me look. Ooh, yeah. Wow.
Scratchy, scratchy.
Are you considered the man in the relationship, or does that depend on who you're with?
Or is that even a thing?
That depends on the moment, right? If paying, well, yeah.
But is it, you don't consider it a man in the relationship? It's like the
No.
dominant partner.
I
Is
think
it
the
more like that?
dominant partner.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't have any interest in being the man.
But sometimes
No.
you can tell.
But
I'm
again,
mostly
it's a
the dominant
dominant
person.
partner. Yeah.
I'm usually the dominant person. Yeah. And I think it's more because of my.
And I see that about both of you. Is that
that
wrong?
Yeah,
you
that would
prefer
probably
it?
say that
Yeah.
that is.
Yeah.
That's how you prefer it. You want to be the dominant person.
I just don't want to be told what to do, so I like to be the dominant person. And,
Yeah, that's true. So I must be dominant. 'Cause I don't like to be told what to do at all.
yeah, I mean, you know what it is.
And I do like opening up the door and
Yeah.
buying flowers
you
and
said that,
writing
like,
there was a-
poetry.
Yeah,
I
and
like
doing
that
take on
stuff
that
like-
role.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you said that's kind of how you knew when you were younger. You got to carry this like really
Oh
cute
my
girls'
God.
books in high
Belinda.
school,
Oh
right?
my God, I was-
Belinda.
And she was a brunette too, right? And all of a sudden, like one day, somehow I was carrying her books,
Yeah.
and I was probably like in the 3rd grade.
Really that young?
Oh yeah, and I was like styling and profiling. I mean, I thought I had my
Styling and
woman, right?
profiling.
And I didn't even really know what that meant.
Right.
I didn't think this is my girlfriend, but it was
It's just the cute, you're attractive, and I'm going to
Yeah.
follow you.
right. And I want to carry your books, and
That's what, yeah.
So it was kind of like known but unknown.
Yeah.
It felt
I didn't have
familiar.
words
It
for
felt
it.
good, but I wouldn't have been able to define it.
Yeah.
That's how I felt.
Right.
Even in,
Because you're
even,
like 8 or 9.
Right. And
Yeah.
and this is long before any TV show. I remember Billy Crystal when Billy Crystal is what was that show? There was that whole was it Soap?
I don't know.
There was an old series and it was called Soap, and it was like a family.
Okay.
And one of their older children was Billy Crystal, and he played a gay man. But you never saw him with a boyfriend.
Yeah.
He never, but it was just like,
That was
you knew
that was the way it was.
he was gay, right?
Yeah, now when
And
they
then-
kiss and stuff, it's
Mannerisms.
crazy.
Yeah,
The
there was
mannerisms, yeah,
mannerisms.
yeah.
Well, they would say, well, he's probably got a
Even
boyfriend.
like Three's
or
Company.
make
Three's Company, you would
statements.
never see him have a boyfriend. Like John Ritter?
Yeah.
Three's Company?
He was gay?
Yes.
No. The premise was he was not
the
gay,
premise was
but he was
that
supposed to be gay.
he was supposed to be
live
gay.
with the 2 girls, but he was straight.
Oh, but he was so
gotcha.
feminine.
But in
Yeah.
real life, he was straight.
yeah, real life.
Yes.
he was
yeah.
straight.
Okay.
Real life, he was straight, and in the role, he was straight. But
Yeah.
they pretended.
Got
He was
you.
gay.
Oh, I thought he was Here I Am.
No, no,
See,
no.
like that.
Because
The
it was
other
not
guy-
acceptable for a straight man to live with 2 unmarried women, like unmarried.
Correct.
At the time, so that's why they had to pretend, right?
And
yeah.
the neighbor was the
Mr.
gigolo.
Roper, right.
The
not
oh,
Mr.
right. Oh, the
Roper.
other guy.
The
right,
dark-haired
right,
guy
yeah.
was like the womanizer.
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
gigolo.
yeah. Like that's really what John Ritter was too, but like he had to pretend to be gay, you
Yeah.
know, like so that's why it was funny.
That's so funny.
So that's how
So
we
funny.
really couldn't identify
Yeah.
with anybody, right?
Right.
But you just, I just felt different.
Right.
And I tried to go out with a couple of boys, but
At how old? A teenager?
yeah,
tried
I think
to,
I went
but
out with
couldn't wait to get away.
a teenager.
Yeah.
Little Steve Norfolk down the road. I would hold his hand, and I'm like, God, it's so sweaty. I mean, you have to be that close, right? And then all of a sudden, the girl was like, "Hey, how you doing?" I mean, it sweated didn't matter, right? It's
Oh
just
my
like,
gosh.
it was weird. So you try to fit that role
Yeah.
because you think you're supposed to do that, but it's just very, very uncomfortable.
So one of my close friends growing up, we didn't know each other, but we grew up in the same church. So it was very, very conservative Christian. So who did he date but the biggest conservative Christian? Because he knew she wouldn't have sex with him. And he was like, I wasn't going there. I had to do something, but I knew it wouldn't go
That's
there.
so
So I was like,
funny, right?
so
That's awesome.
funny. Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
And sometimes I think that's how these
Right.
people get married, and then they
Right.
later on come out is they probably marry somebody that probably says, "Well, you know, I just don't want to have sex until we get married," and they're like, "Oh, great, can we date?"
Yeah.
We're not having sex at all, and hopefully, I just maybe twice if you want 2 kids,
Right.
Yes.
if you time it correctly. But then I'm not having sex with you more than 3 times.
So when you 2 go out now, do you still deal with looks and
hope.
anything? I don't mean in a good way. I meant like discriminatory
No. I mean, I
shit.
don't. If I
do you
do, I
still
don't even
deal
notice
with that
Right.
in
I
this day and
don't.
age or no?
No, I never deal with it.
Like from other people that think being gay is wrong.
Like when you walk into a restaurant with a woman, do you feel like people
we're
are
not holding
staring
hands
at
and
you
kissing.
or
Well,
judging you? No,
sometimes I am, but I mean, I'm just
I don't
saying.
mean you 2 together. I mean,
no, but in
when
general.
you're with a woman and you go to a restaurant, do you still get like the looks and people judging you or whatever?
Well,
yes and no, and I probably feel that people are looking at me differently. So we were just out at breakfast the other day, and she kept wanting to kiss me, and I'm like, no, we're in a restaurant.
not me.
Not
Because she's like,
I wouldn't have had to fight that
I was
hard.
ready to start a rumor.
And then all of a sudden the waitress comes over and she goes, "What do you want?" And she goes, "I really want to kiss her, but she won't let me." And
Oh
I'm like,
my gosh.
I like this chick.
So that, yeah,
I
right.
That's
like
awesome. Good for her.
That's awesome.
She's
I
like,
love it.
no, I'm out.
So
she
some
wants to
people like
hold my
that.
hand and walk in and is like,
Wow, that's great. So I know we're like almost out of time and we're going to have to do a part 2.
Yes,
So
there's
I
we
so
just
part
get
two.
started,
I didn't even
and
get
before
Yeah,
you
we haven't
know
even covered much
it.
ground.
No.
But I have it to tell you that, I mean, I guess I've had gay friends in the past, but not as close as I've been with you 2.
Right.
And I have to say, and I hope nobody gets offended by this as far as our straight friends, because we have a lot of straight friends in the girl
We
gang.
think
and all
funny how
that.
I
I can't
identify.
wait to see what this
I know.
is.
No, I have to say, out of a lot of my friends, for some reason, I trust you guys more than I do a lot of.
That's because they're not
Other
going to steal
people.
your
It
man.
has nothing to do with that. Nothing.
Well,
to
I
do-
think
Well,
Ross
maybe
is
a little
too.
bit, but I
Before-
feel like you guys are very real
Well, we are.
people.
We are.
And I don't know if that has to do with you being gay,
No,
but
it
it
has
just,
not,
but you
not
two
at all.
are very similar.
Yes.
You don't think it
Yes.
has anything to do with it? Because
No.
I would
Not-
beg
absolutely
to differ.
not.
Really?
No. Yeah. We'll bring you out with us one time, and you'll be like, "Whoa, yeah, we're an anomaly." I mean, really, we're just like just like meeting
'Cause
other people.
It's like you said, people on the apps are just not transparent, and that's true. Both.
Yeah, like when we go out to
straight and
when we
gay,
go out to
apparently.
Wilton Manors, like we just cut up and whatever because people are just like anywhere else. They're not honest, they're not transparent. And if you're there with somebody, they definitely, may inquire, even though, you're like, oh, no, I'm with her. They're like, oh, for how long?
Yeah.
Any chance I
Are you
can
right? Are you
wiggle
on a
into
date?
that?
Right. So,
And some of me believes a little bit of that. It comes from the fact that you and I can only date, but you two can marry.
Oh.
Right? So there's like a different, I don't want to say, well, maybe it is respect for a relationship or just understanding, right? It's just...
there's no boundaries.
Yeah, there's boundaries with a straight couple, especially dating, engaged, married,
Yeah.
versus,
And that's the
a
thing.
gay
There's a
couple.
small pool. You go down to Wilton Manors. Not always, but like a lot of people have been with everybody. Right? It's a small
yeah.
pool, so it's like past girlfriends. It's like you see a lot of exes. You're like, oh, great, So that's the only thing too. But we'll have to bring you down there one time just to see.
I'm so in.
Just to meet people.
Yeah,
Go to-
But,
I
and
would've
there's a
loved
lot of
that.
straight people that
I
go
would-
down there too. In
Tons.
fact, lately I think we're kind
we
of
should go to we go to a party. When we go to a lesbian party, we should bring you guys along because
Yeah, there you go.
you guys will be surprised.
Yeah.
Because we hang out with mostly feminine, more feminine than I don't think there's anybody that's manly looking in our group.
No.
So everybody we hang
That
out
would
with,
be-
yeah.
I mean,
I'd be
I went to
down.
law school in San Francisco. Some of my
Oh, right,
best
exactly.
memories
There you
are
go.
dancing in gay clubs, by far the best. The best.
So a lot of straight women,
Love fruit flies.
going-
We call them fruit flies.
yeah, fruit flies, they love going out to gay bars.
Yeah.
And there was this one woman, God, I was probably in my 30s. So this was like 10 years ago.
She keeps making herself younger and
I
younger.
know, really.
I was going to stay tuned. I'll be 12. But this woman, she was probably, really, I'd have to say in her 60s. And she would go out to this country bar and she would dance. She would get all dressed up. She had a beautiful dress. She had her little cowboy boots on. And she would go there and the guys would spin around the floor from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. every Saturday and Sunday.
They love it.
And
They're
they
very
loved her. She was probably more guarded and protected.
Yeah.
And she wanted to go there and dance. And she went there to dance.
There's a
And
lot of straight girls
all
with
the
lots of gay guys.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So all the straight girls out there, you just want to go have a good time. Go head out to your local gay bar. Maybe men, right? Not us females. We might come. No, hey.
And there's a lot of straight girls that go to go out with the gay guys because they're so hot.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys have chills. I mean,
Right.
they're just gorgeous.
Yeah.
Well,
Even for me, they're gorgeous.
We'll finish off with
true.
one quick story. So I was dating this guy who was drop dead gorgeous when we were in my early 20s, and we went to go visit a friend of his in Orlando. And his friend said, go, I'll meet you at the da-da-da-da-da-da. So we go to this bar, and after about 30 minutes, I'm like, wait a minute. Because I noticed these guys kept looking at him. Nobody was checking me out, and I was hot. They were checking him out, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I look around, I'm like, oh my God, your friend sent us to a gay bar.
Oh my God.
And he was like,
Laughing.
We were hysterical. We stayed there all night long.
Best
I
time
had
though,
the
right?
time of my life.
Yeah.
It's the
I
best.
didn't have
They
to
did.
worry about anybody. He didn't have to
He didn't
worry
have to worry about anybody.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't care
You
if you
maybe
hit
have
on
had
him
to-
because he's not going to have shit to do with you. Go ahead. So it was great.
It's a great
I don't know.
time.
It's what's crazy. This
Gay
might be,
men are-
this
gay
might
men
be
are a great time, though, I
The
gotta tell
segment
you.
to hold
They
up
are.
for part 2. But a lot of gay men, they'll go to these straight bars, and I'm like, why do you go there? He goes, well, I probably could do a
Yeah.
lot of things to a lot of guys.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
To your
no,
point.
you can't.
Right. It's
I
interesting.
said, I could think maybe women would have an easier chance with women because some of them
Yeah,
are like,
yeah.
oh, it's kind of soft. Let's try it. Blah blah blah.
Experimental.
But men to men,
Yeah, that's harder.
and
There's so many
and
straight
you know what they
guys
go? They
that-
go, oh no, I guess go up and they go, here's what I want you to do. I'm going to give you the time of your life. All you have to do is sit back,
Yeah.
close your eyes,
Right. Yeah.
and pretend like. And they're like, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy
a lot,
that
I will tell you, a lot more men want to just get a blowjob from
Yeah, yeah.
another guy.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And
That's their biggest
they can
thing. They just
justify
want-
it, right?
and gay men love to do it.
They
Right.
do.
Don't
Oh,
They have
yeah.
those
They do.
glory holes.
They-
Yes.
You
Oh
just
my
stick your dick
gosh.
in.
There was
Oh
one
my
around
God.
the corner from my house in San Francisco that
God.
was pretty famous.
The other guest that's out there.
It's all
All
right.
right, let's go.
But okay, real quick, short.
Okay.
We haven't done this in a while. So either best date night, but we really like the worst date stories.
Oh my God.
Do you have one? Either of you can go. Because we've had some good ones.
You got to make it quick, though.
I've had so many.
Like we had one where the guy blew on her on the dance floor. He was like, well, they were dancing. Like, what?
I've had so many dates. I mean, I've sat down at restaurants and they pop like a handful of pain pills with a drink, and I'm like, they're like, do you want one?
Serious?
And I'm like, no.
Like Valley of the Dolls.
I just want a taxi.
Valley of the Dolls.
So that's kind of like weird, like
Yeah.
right? I mean, but I've had so many.
And then did they just like go blank?
No, they were
just used to it?
Yeah,
Wow.
continue the day.
Well, I don't think I've really had any horrific dates.
Well, you'll have to think about it because we're definitely bringing you back.
We'll
And
come
this
back to you
time,
for part 2.
I'm going to go
You
pick
make-
you up at your house.
We're going to tell you to be here at 3:30.
Yeah,
And we're going to
exactly.
start at 4:30.
If you know what, she's not with me, then you're screwed.
Yeah,
I was actually thinking, I'm like, "Ooh, we're gonna get there early. Don't want to get there too early. We'll make myself a drink." I'm posting pictures.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
You're hilarious.
All right, we're going to bring you back.
I would love to.
Yes, part
This was
2 for
awesome.
sure. There's no doubt.
Welcome.
And it will probably be an hour.
We didn't even scratch the surface.
No, we didn't.
We didn't even
get cut
scratch
anywhere.
the surface,
I got to
right?
think about my bad
Thank
date.
you for being
Right,
here
yeah.
on time.
We gotta do like 2 hours
We're
next
glad
time.
you made it.
I love you both.
We love you. This was awesome.
It's fun.
Oh,
And
I'm
we're going to
sorry
be back
about
with
that.
part 2, but be sure to
Stay tuned.